Okay. Yeah, yeah. It's not spooky. It's not glowing in the dark. It's not walking through walls. It's connected to government. It's connected to order. It's connected to structure. Jesus walked that thing out for us. If you don't know what it is, you have to go read and find out how he walked under the guidance of the Holy Spirit as God was giving him instruction. And it's imperative for us to see it and acknowledge that his headship. That's the only way you're going to be able to experience heaven on earth, is that you're going to move out of the way and let his head be exalted in your life. You got to hold fast to the head. Amen. I don't know about you. Don't y'all want that? So, I believe God's government is going to come. But I believe the stranglehold on the church is going to have to be removed. And we got 4 P's that's holding up the church, that's made the church a bordello. And some of them is programs, personalities, performances, and politics. The church is inundated with these symptomatic problems. Amen. We got more programs. Am I right? You can go to any evangelical church and you find out programs are all over the place. Yeah. Because you got to keep the troops occupied. Yeah. The more programs you have, the better. Many churches are rated on the programs. Do y'all have this? Do y'all got that? You know what I'm saying? And even some of the things that we've come accustomed to, like Sunday school and things like that, new believers classes, that stuff is just new stuff. In the 50s, you didn't have a lot of Sunday schools. You just brought your child and set them next to you. And then they got out of pocket, the mother of the church or one of the deacons went over there and made sure you set your tail down. So we got all these programs. We got these personalities that are in the church. You know, everybody trying to become an apostle and everybody trying to become a fivefold ministry gives. Now we got bishops, black people running to bishops, and I know they're white bishops, but the bishop phenomenon is really in our community. Everybody wanted that. I mean, if they're apostles, they just want to give up the bishop, not knowing that the bishop and deacons, when Paul wrote to the church of bishops and deacons, they were in Philippi, and that whole region, it wasn't necessarily over. Because that's what it means, overseer. That's all it means. But we've elevated it to some persona and some, that's not in alignment, it's not accurate. And then they try to check, they want to go back to the first century church and find out the whole pedigree of the bishopric and all that other stuff. And anyhow, then we got politics, we got performances in politics, it's all in the church. Everybody trying to jockey for a position. These things are putting a stranglehold on the church, and we need God's legitimate authority. I don't know about you, I'm tired of illegitimate authority. I want the full reign of God. But if it's going to be the full reign of God, we're going to have to be lawful. And I'm not talking about Old Testament, New Testament. I'm talking about there's going to have to be a legal, a measure of legality in our hearts.
Yes, that's right.
We can't have the form. We need his full-fledged authority. That's why the earth is waiting on the full-fledged authority. That's going to come out of sonship. But as I was doing this teaching, I want to hurry up and get over to the next one. But when I was doing this teaching, I started looking, I got caught up with Revelation 21. We're going to go there real quick. I got caught up. I don't know how this is going to fit, but I got caught up, so hopefully it'll fit right now. Because the book of Revelation, the last 2 chapters, is a perfect government.
Yes.
Taking every year.
Yep.
The enemy know that. That's why he mucked it up and started throwing curveballs in there and made it more historical. And it is a historical relevance. I believe the beast was Rome, and the woman, the harlot, was the Judaism. And I believe it was the harlotry system that was at place when Jesus showed up that finally got his death blow in AD 70, which preterism believed that the book of Revelation is over after that point, that John penned it somewhere between AD 66 to AD 70. If you want to know my point of view, so just in case somebody asks you, I'm not a preterist per se. They believe that the Bible is finished, most of them, till you find some that are in idealism, and mostly everybody believe that some form of fashion, because they're not historicists and they're not futurists or historicists, which means another time, another place. Most of the people are being awakened to preterism or fulfilled eschatology. Those are the terms that's going to be real strong, and it's picking up speed. And there's nothing nobody can do about it. I've been called on my own page heretic. I got one. They gonna say, well, you know what, Glendon, I say his name. Every time I post something, he wanted to get in there. So he always wanted to critique me and find out what am I saying. If you ever follow my thread, he's just one guy that's just like my he ain't a miserable comforter. He's a beast of Ephesus to me. And I say that because anyway, that's just my little banner. But we need to understand that God wants to do something, and He wants to re-educate us. The bottom line, and take away the fear-mongering. Yes. The book of Revelation is a beautiful book. And that book doesn't have any regard for any time. I don't care if it's AD 70 or whatever. This book is timeless. You can't even lock it in on a chronological time. Because he said it's which was, which is, and is to come. First chapter he said that. Yeah. So anything from chapter 1 all the way to the 22nd chapter doesn't have any, it has historical relevance. But it's a spiritual book because it says the first 5 words say it's the revelation of Jesus Christ. Not the revelation of the end time. Not the revelation of doom and gloom. Not the revelation of futurism, historicism, or anything catastrophic that's going to happen, or some cataclysmic event that we're waiting on, that we on the edge of our seat because Hollywood somehow got into the church. And every Left Behind series, and some of us secretly running just to watch it. I watch it from time to time on TVN because I watch it because I want to have popcorn. I just want something to laugh about. I don't watch it because I'm trying to get any relevance out of it, or I already know the story. I've read the book. Amen. So when you work through this book, you find out even when you take the 7 and trace it all the way through scriptures. I'm just saying this for those that are watching. If you take 7 and go through scriptures, then you find out it was the first thing was the seal. The trumpet, the seal, and the vials. It's all 7. So if you look through that and you had your own time and you stacked them on top of each other, you just took the seal, the trumpet, and then the vial and stacked it and went through all 7, you will see what I'm talking about. It's not a chronological book. It's an evolution. It's the redemption of a people. The revelation started, he said, I turned to see the voice to talk to me. And that voice was in the candlesticks. Am I right? Yes. The Son of Man, and he gave a whole description of who was in the candlesticks. How many know at the end of chapter 1 it tell you the candlesticks are the churches? Yes. Yeah. Then it tell you who the angels are, the stars. It said it's the 7 pastors over those churches. And those are actual churches in Asia Minor, all 7. But as it was, and I taught this house many times, if it's historically right, then there's some prophetic relevance. Yeah. When Paul wrote Ephesians 2:10 to the church in Ephesus, talking to his son, Timothy, how many know that we can read it today and get something out of it? Oh, yeah. Right? Yeah. So the last book, we're supposed to just shift and say we can't get nothing out of the book of Revelation because we don't want to look over there. But the first part of the book tells us what? Whoever, blessed is the man that what? Read it. Why would he put all those imageries in over there and we've allowed men, carnal men, to interpret something that is spiritually related? And took the blessing out of the book. Thank God that he's putting that book in the hands of the right people who can go over there and make sense out of the mess that generations have made concerning the book. So when we get to chapter 21, after we're going to come through a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. We get to the last 2 chapters. Let's go to verse 10. Revelation 21, verse 10.
And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God.
The first 3 verses talk about that city that's been adorned for her bride, meaning for her husband. Remember the holy city, New Jerusalem, the first couple of verses, you read it. It came down. So we're not going up to that city. Sure. That city is coming down to us. Can we agree with that?
Sure.
And can we agree that that city, if the lamb that was in this book is not natural?
Yes.
Can we agree that the city probably ain't natural?
Yes, sir. More now.
It's a spiritual city?
Right. Amen.
It's a great city. Verse 11.
Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone, most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal.
Clear as what? Clear as crystal. Crystal clear. So this city that's coming out of the heavens now, you probably say, how did that fit on church government? It got a lot to do with church government. Because this city is the people. And that city is coming down out of heaven. Every time somebody accepts Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, that city is coming down. Every time healing and deliverance take place, that city is coming down. And it's getting crystal clear.
Sir, sir.
Every time. And remember, I think Prophet did a teaching on about the city. That word city, the name city is polis, P-O-L-I-S. And the root word means confrontation, war. So this city ain't going to just come down. It's not just going to happen because Jesus died for it. It's going to come through conflict. It's going to come through hostility. It's going to come through opposition. Amen. It's going to come because the hostility is going to be because we've been manufactured to think of something about this city that is incorrect. And so we've had people leave this ministry because I've touched on certain things connected to this city and other teachings. He's like, I can't take it. Because I'm not trying to take something in the letter and make it spiritual. I'm just trying to read what the Spirit is saying about the letter. So it's not to over-spiritualize the scriptures. It's just me trying to interpret it according to the Spirit. So he says, having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone, most precious, like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and a wall, go ahead,